Good evening, good morning, and welcome to MWell's webinar. My name is Arun Kima. It's my pleasure to connect with you through this webinar series. Today's topic is understanding your body's bioclock. It's a very, very interesting topic, and we have people from different parts of the world connecting in. And together with me hosting is my fellow director, Adnan. Adnan, say
Good
hi.
evening, good evening. Hi, hello.
Okay, so today's topic is, like I mentioned, is understanding your body's bioclock. We did it 6 months ago, and we kind of improved it. So you can expect a lot of new stuff in this particular webinar. I hope you'll be looking at the slides. So, look at the picture. Picture has a lot of interpretation to help you understand what I'm saying. And because we have people from different parts of the world logging in at different time zones and so on. So thank you so much. If you have any concerns, questions pertaining to today's topic, please look at the chat box there, and chat box for you to ask questions, and I'll try to answer as much as possible at the end of this today's program. So let's get started. First of all, I did mention about this webinar. We got to understand the body's inner engineering. We got to understand how complex our system is, the human system itself. It is one of what we call an engineering marvel by nature, of course. The complexity we have, the intelligence we inherited, and the ability to transform and even capture space and so on. So it's a huge area of potential that we carry, and we can only know that when we understand the inner engineering that we have. So just to take a human body itself, we all know that our body is made up of close to 100 trillion cells. So if you take the 100 trillion cells, and these cells, they form tissues. And the tissues, they form into organs. Obviously, the cells in an organ, say a kidney organ, kidney is totally different from a liver. So the cells form together tissues form organs, and from organs we have the organ system, the different types of organ system, and the different type of organ system is what forms the organism. That's us, the human body, or any other organism for that matter. All right. Take, for example, a car. I'm sure most of you are very familiar with car, and car has a complex engineering system for you to, the mobility to drive to at different speeds, stop, halt, turn, and so on. So if you understand the engineering of the car, the wheels that move, so you have parts that's movable, there are parts that is fixed, rotating, or supporting, and so on. And I'm sure that if you know about cars, you're not going to mess with the parts, especially when you're driving or before you drive, right? Because that could really cause a lot of fatality, accidents, and so on. So knowing that if a car, which is just a simple, compared to your human body, compared to your own engineering system, if you know that you're not supposed to harm any parts or spoil any parts and so on, you got to understand the complexity and the importance of maintaining and managing your inner engineering so that it functions to the maximum output that you require to give you the best system for that matter. So if you take about just the cells, just look at your body itself. There are different types of cells: stem cells, which are blank cells; bone cells; blood cells; fat cells; skin cells; nerve cells; sex cells; pancreatic cells; even cancer cells and muscle cells. So different types of cells are there in your body that forms different types of tissues. In fact, 4 different types of tissues: epithelial tissues, nervous tissues, muscle tissues, and so on. So you have different types of tissues, and not only that, your whole entire system is a complete what we call a marvel. All right, we have close to 62% of our body, of our human body, is water. Over 16% are protein. 16% of our body is fat and only 1% of carbohydrates. We have 6% of minerals, different types of natural elements, minerals, that is of nature. Oxygen 65% of the 6%, carbon 18%, hydrogen 9.5%, nitrogen 3.2%, calcium 1.5%, phosphorus 1.5%, and so on, magnesium and so on. So just to give you an idea why, because these natural elements is the core resources. These are the resources your whole entire body has. In order to create the different types of hormonals or even chemical reactions require for certain functions and so on. All right. So from the organ itself, we have the organ system, the immune system, the nervous system, the musculoskeletal system, the excretory system, the reproduction system, the endocrine system, and the digestive system, and so on. So the different types of system that organizes together to give us the optimum performance we require. So suppose if you're driving your car and your brake failed, or suppose you're driving your car and your gear is not working, or suppose you're driving your car and you have a huge combustion or no combustion in your engine at all. Imagine the drastic effect that would happen. So likewise, you know, we have different organs and organ systems all functioning in harmony, in a homeostasis condition, so that you can perform to the best, and at all point of time they are engineered and they are programmed, and they serve only one purpose, that is to give you the best bodily experience and performance necessity. And it's not about how much they perform, it's how much you accommodate for that also. So fortunately for us, we have a biological clock, the circadian biological clock. And this clock, it works based on the sunrise and the light and the darkness. It captures the nature's light and the nature's darkness to relate the time zone, so that it's able to manage and control the organs and organ systems for the maintenance to happen. So the circadian bio clock is controlled by a part in the brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN in short. It's a group of cells in a hypothalamus gland that responds to light and dark signals. And from the optic nerve of the eye, the light travels to the SCN, signaling the internal clock that it's time to be awake, or time to, you know, modulate or regulate the different organs and organ system for best performance to happen. So Adnan, would you like to share about this slide?
Yes.
Performance.
In fact, this circadian rhythm or clock or bio clock, some people they call master clock. This is basically a cluster of neurons, almost 20,000 neurons, which is in hypothalamus, the previous slide shows. The whole thing is basically controlling the timing system. And of course, this is not only the timing system, you can find many of the diseases recently, you know, right from the obesity, even the depression and schizophrenia and all are just now, a lot of studies going on, they found the main reason is the bio clock. If you are not, if your body is not functioning as per the natural circadian rhythm, then the whole thing will get messed up. And this is the basic principle which has been adapted by many of the holistic healing practitioners also. That is the reason you can always find the doctors, when they do the interview, they ask, how is your sleep? This is the first question, because majority of the people, when the sleep is corrected, you know, almost their health issues are not much into deeper side. But if the sleep is affected, that means it is totally, even in the energetic wellness, we always talk, you know, the major reasons for, or major, reasons for any kind of illness is energetic blockages, energetic imbalances and all. And right now, it is very much understood that even the energetic blockages is coming from the sleep disorders. So here, when we go in detail, what exactly happening when we are having the sleep issues? It is not just at the physical level alone. It can even radiate onto our other realms like the mental and emotional. You can always think of a person, you talk to somebody who has not slept for 2-3 days. Do you think he can converse with you properly? Sometimes maybe he'll go violent, or so, a lot of, the behavioral pattern also will be affected once you are foregoing sleep for a long time. Now, this bio clock basically in our body, in the TCM system also, like for example, a person who is not sleeping like from a particular time to particular time, then they have some sort of a chart also made to find out whether this person's liver is functioning well or so-and-so organ is functioning well. Because as we mentioned, in our system, we have the endocrine system, we have different systems like skeletal system, excretionary system, and digestion system, and the nervous system. All these kind of systems are or needed a sort of repair. And this repair, we are not taking our body every day or every week for the service or something, but we have an inner engineering whereby automatically the repair happens. And for the repair happen, we need what you call a supervisor. Here the supervisor is something called the SCN, the suprachiasmatic nucleus system. So this is the main system which is controlling the whole rhythm, the whole the pattern of what you call the correction, how to happen and all these. So this has been coming from our brain, and this area of our master clock is controlling the whole thing. So from so-and-so time to so-and-so time, like for example, if it is 9 o'clock, there are different time zones. We are having different functions, which is happening in an optimum way. Like, there's a saying like, if some people, they sleep very late and they wake up also very late, of course, they will be having a lot of issues with their bowel system, because they are supposed to wake up early, and they are supposed, because after the digestion and all these, the residue, the toxin, whatever has to be eliminated from the body through the bowel system, it is already ready. But when we are not ready, we are still in the bed. So this also will create a lot of issues connected with our colons and this and that. And each and every time, there is a time for our body also to produce more melatonin. Most of the time when the night, the darkness comes, the melatonin, our brain, this master clock, it creates the melatonin which induces us to sleep. Now, when we don't sleep, or we are still exposed to the blue light, so-called blue lights, the computer and, mobile phone and all these, this is directly affecting our melatonin secretion. That is the reason majority of the people, they are not even able to get the sleep, on time, at night.
I'd like to pause here to say a few things, especially on this particular slide itself. All right, in relation to the body's bio clock. Okay. We got to know and understand how to maximize our body when our body is going at rest, when our body is going at repair, and when our body is at the best ability to perform. So like what Adnan was mentioning about melatonin secretion, that's basically to allow our body to rest and rejuvenate, because it's to prepare us for the sleep. At the same token, I've seen, in fact, last night itself, I've seen people at midnight going for jogging. So can you imagine the upset, the system in the upset that actually upsets the whole entire system? Because when you're supposed to be resting, you're actually working, or you're actually exerting by exercising, all right? So there are different times that is good if you know how to maximize it, all right? Like for example, 10 o'clock in the morning, all right? 10 o'clock in the morning is the best time because you're high alert. That's a good time to study. That's a good time to get into some of the most important work. And you actually get the most important work done around that particular time, all right? So if you're a person that does your morning routines, walking, exercising, and so on, 9 o'clock is the best time because you have the highest testosterone secretion that happens all right, or in the evening, where you have the fastest reaction time. So when you're meeting people and so on. So there's also a temperature, body temperature variance that happens between 4:30 or between early morning or in the evenings, where the body temperature increases. So we have different what we call abilities, and if you understand how your bodies work, your natural bioclock works, then it's the best way that we can maximize respect and allow the rejuvenation to happen. So now we're going to go into the time based, all right, based on one particular time, say an interval of 2 hours, what happens. So we're going to cover the 24 hours, and we're going to go at what happened at this particular time and what organ is actually at rest and so on. Okay, so when you look at this chart, you might want to skip your midnight meals, and you might want to have the discipline of sleeping at the right time and waking up at the right time.
9 p.m. to 11 p.m., our blood vessel systems are being repaired in our body. 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. So imagine if we sleep after 11 p.m., we are missing this repair for that particular day. In this repair mode, if the repair doesn't happen properly, most of the people, you can find the migraines, headaches, and the abnormally, weakness, all these things you can find. And especially during this time, it is even controlling our eating habits, even our digestion system, because everything is connected again with the whole nervous system, even our body temperature. So irregular rhythms have been linked, with all these kind of even various health issues also. So this is very important, and majority of the people you can find normally, the people, they don't sleep, by 9 o'clock to 11 p.m. So this is very important to find that this timing is very important if you can sleep at 9 p.m. And this is the 2 hours, the 2 hours which our body uses to repair our blood vessels and,
I like to say something here also. Usually I work easily 14 hours a day. And by the time, I try to take my dinner by 8 or latest 8:30. And I used to have this, this feeling of lethargicness, tiredness, just totally drained out by the time, I finish my dinner at around 9 o'clock. And I used to wonder, have I worked so hard? Why is it so draining and so on? Not realizing is actually the body is going through a blood vessel repair and maintenance time. So obviously you're supposed to feel weak, tired, and relaxed at that point of time. So it's not just you're completely drained out, it's actually your body is in a repair mode, and that's why you are in that mode of low energy and relax. And that's the time you're supposed to relax. Am I right, Adnan?
Yes. We need to relax. But the problem is that most of the time, when you travel across the time zones and all, or some people, they have the shift to work, or too much exposure to the light, in the night especially. So your even environmental factors, all these are affecting much. So you can always find those people, the blood vessels are always having issues, Now, 11 p.m. to 1 p.m., this is the time when the gallbladder repair happens. So initial cleansing of tissues and, gallbladder, it collects the bile salt, which process the fat and other things. So the proper processing of the fatty elements are not there in the body. This might lead to the obesity or even the fatty liver and all these kind of things, And even in our Ayurvedic system, they call, the Pitta dosha. So these are all the people, they don't sleep at this time, they always develop these kind of doshas, these kind of issues, and which can cause headaches, insomnia, eye issues, the dark circles in the eye. And the people, they always sleep late. You can find the rapid aging, those people, they age so fast. And the next one is the 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. This is very, very important, because this is the time when one of the largest organs in our body, which is the liver, is being repaired. And we all know that liver is something, after heart, the liver is the major organ which has over 500 functions, which is even doing the detox element, because if the liver detox is not properly happening, and that is where our whole body is getting filled with the poisons and toxinal elements. So this is very important, and we need to give the body ample time, especially 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. This is the time when the liver goes under repair. Now, after that, 3 to 5 a.m. 3 to 5 a.m. is the time where the lungs goes for repair. So the toxic waste from your lungs, becomes loosened between 3 to 5 a.m. And we call in the Brahma Muhurt and all, especially that is the best time. Normally the people, they do what you call Surya Namaskar, the sun salutation, and people, they do a lot of breathing exercise and all these normally in this time, in the other traditions. So this time you need to always drink warm water, and little bit of walking or jogging is very good. Doing meditation, especially in the early time, like 4 to 5 or 5 to 6, like that, it is very good. So the lungs repair time is 3 to 5, and most of the people, they are having asthmatic issues, are having any other nephro kind of issues. Then you can always find that this time is very difficult for them. They will face a lot of breathing difficulty in this time. Then comes the 5 to 7 a.m. where our large intestine repair happens. So large intestine repair, that means, it is connected with our excretionary organs. And since you drink a lot of water and all these, it will help for the feces to move easily, and everything will be ready by then, in the bowel system. So by 5 to 7 a.m., we need to just, we have to be woken up, and by the time we have to just get rid of whatever the waste is already there, so that, it will not affect the rest of the hours in the body. Because if somebody has not had a proper motion, or is already having constipation and all these, many health issues can develop connected to our colon system and other excretionary organ systems. Then 7 to 9 a.m. This is, we are talking about the whole repair going on, but it doesn't mean that this time we have to sleep. But this is the time normally the process is happening as per the bioclock, as per the circadian rhythm. So 7 to 9 a.m., our stomach goes under repair. So this is where we need to have some sort of, light breakfast and all these. Here, the stomach energies are the highest at this point. Okay, and we should not go for a big meal. We can have a small meal, or and you can start with juice and water or milk, something like that. Then from 9 to 11 a.m., where the spleen is going for repair. The spleen is also one of the organs which collect the red blood cells, and it helps a lot in our digestion, even in our lymphatic system, to get rid of the toxins and all. It works a lot. So this is the peak time. So this is very important to note that 9 to 11 a.m. is the spleen repair time in our body. Then next is 11 to 1 p.m., which is the heart repair. Of course, the heart is one of the major organ, you can say even more important than our brain sometimes, because heart, even though you see it's just like a muscles, but it has got a lot of things. Even the heart rhythm we call, which is controlling and maintaining our emotions or everything. So heart is not, I'm not taking into account just the physical form of the heart, but the whole functions of the heart is getting repaired by 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., where the heart is pumping the nutrients, I mean the blood, and in the whole body, because you can see almost every day more than 7,500 liters of blood is being pumped. So it's not taking any rest. Heart doesn't take any rest as such. It's working all the time since we are born. So, but it is again very necessary that our bio clock will have to give some sort of time to maintain the heart system, and this is the particular time it gives. Then goes to the 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., where the small intestine repair happening in our body. So the food, which is requiring longer time for the digestion, like proteins and this and that. So this is the place, the time where it is happening, and the proper assimilation of the food also is taking. So that is the reason normally the lunch time we take a little bit more food, compared to the breakfast. The lunch we will have little more, because this is where the small intestine going under repair, and whereas maximum assimilation of the nutrients which we are taking is happening during this particular time. In those people, if this is not happening properly during this time, of course this is where the people, they get the bloatedness, and they get obesity, and they get many other hyperglycemia and different other issues if they are not properly taking food and all at the right time. Then the 3 to 5 p.m., where the bladder is going under repair. This is also one of the major area, where the excretion area, where the metabolic waste and the other thing has to be properly thrown out. It is even good for our kidney system. You can find people, they are just holding the urine, and later on they develop a lot of kidney related issues. So this is a very important, that particular time, which is 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., where the bladder goes under repair. Then goes to 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., where the kidney goes under repair. And we have right kidney, left kidney, which is again connected with our urinary bladder and all these. So most of the people, in the later stage of their life, they might find they're getting edema in the swelling in the foot and all these kind of things. This is all connected with even kidney also. So kidney is one of the major organ which is working like as a filter in our body to do the cleansing and all these. So this is the time where it goes for repair. Then 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., where the pancreas is getting repaired. The nutrients which carry to all the cells, and especially to the capillaries. So every system, it has a drainage system. Likewise, even individuals, human beings, we have a lymphatic system whereby the nutrients which is taken, then afterwards whatever the toxins, it have to be eliminated through the system. So some people, they take too much of sweet, and these kind of too much of sweet, you can find those people, they are developing later on type 2 diabetes. And also pancreas area is very important, which is helping the body by secreting proper amount of insulin and all to process the glucose and to convert into proper energy.
Yeah, that completes the 24-hour cycle. So, I hope you understand the BioClock and the BioClock system, and know when and the best time to exercise, when is the best time to sleep, when is the best time to study or to concentrate, maybe write a book, or even do your business, decisions or whatever it is. And also the importance of bowel movement, going to do your proper release on time and so on, and also understanding the melatonin secretion and also the blood pressure of your body and so on. So take note of it. It's easy. And sometimes when you don't feel good, remember that maybe your body is going through the rejuvenation process. So don't be alarmed. Don't, straight away pop a pill or whatever it is, and allow the natural rhythm to be back so that it is in good form to accommodate to your development in life, for your performance in life, towards your energetic wellness in your life. So try to sleep, especially if possible. Try to go to bed at the right time, regardless of where you are. And wherever you are, always follow the time zone of that particular area. I know I used to travel a lot, and I used to have, a jet lag and issue with the timing and so on. But I always respect the sunshine, sunrise and the sundown, and I try to follow as far as possible, as close as possible towards that, to maintain my body's bio clock, and it had helped me so much in that.
I wanted to share one more thing. When we are talking about the energy system and the chakra and meridians, it has been always noticed that root chakra provides a kind of link between our energetic system and the physical world, and it is our base for our life force energy to flow. And it gives us the motivation to even eat and sleep and procreate and all. So sleeping is being controlled even through our energetic system. So recently I was in Bengaluru, and we came after meeting, I think 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the midnight. So I was, when my sleep is disturbed, it's very difficult, to fall asleep. So immediately he started, I could see him, because he is the one who was using AM1 for many years. So he was started using it on the lower chakras. So it was really, working very well. First, do the wanding on the lower chakras, especially lower 3 chakras, and wand on the, on the pineal gland, on the crown chakra. Then the full body, you can see within 2 to 3 minutes, you will fall asleep. Because it's something like, because we know that majority of the people, why they are getting sleep deprived, and many reasons. It can be a mental reason, too much thinking, too much phobia, or whatever it is. So when you do the wanding, especially onto the lower chakras, these kind of feeling of phobia and all these will be vanished, and it will give a proper energization to the pineal gland, especially on the hypothalamus and all these. And this is one of the best way, if you can try with the AM wand, at night when you're going to sleep, if you're not getting sleep properly. I just wanted to share. And one more thing, if regularizing sleep is very important for this bio clock is concerned, and plus we need to get proper amount of sun exposure, that also will improve our sleep quality. And try to avoid the blue light exposures, like using mobile phone, especially, last 30 minutes before you sleep, you should shut down your computer or mobile phone, whatever, and try to optimize the bedroom light. This is also important. Many people, they use a lot of, the lights in the bedroom. So if you can avoid that also, plus if you can reduce the intake of caffeine, especially during bedtime, that also will be effective. For some people, they are not getting proper amount of sleep at right time.
Okay, right. We are now at question and answer session. If you have any questions, please key in, and we will answer it if it's possible. Okay, so I have one question coming up here is, how can I use the M1 to improve my my energy level, especially when I feel tired? That's the question by Mr. Tang from Singapore.
Okay, so we have all the tutorials. First of all, how to use the AM wand. Normally, if you have an AM wand in your hand and the major 7 chakras in our body, we have the beautiful tutorials on that. So all these 7 chakras have to be properly wanded, and you need to make note of certain things, like during the bonding session, you keep your eyes closed and concentrate on your breathing, remove your slippers, and, either lying down or standing or proper sitting position, you can do the bonding. So by self-bonding, if you can do at least twice a day, one in the morning and one in the late evening, then automatically your body is energized. Even though you don't feel it in your sensory areas, but it is there because Amwand is helping at the quantum level, at our deeper level. So which you can only find when you are going and checking with any kind of holistic diagnostic devices like GDB or kind of, the high-tech devices. It is there. You are being energized when you use the Amwand and open up all the chakras.
Okay.
Right?
There's another question by Casey. I'm not sure where is she from. And she says, I usually exercise in the night between 9 to 11. Are you saying that that's not good, or is it advisable not to exercise in the night?
Honestly, if you see the circadian rhythm, the exercise time in the night is not good. Like especially 9 to 10 is not good, but evening time, like for example 5 to 6 and all, a brisk walk and all is okay. Or if you are too young enough, you have you wanted to control your fat and all these kind of things, or build up muscle and all, for young people it is okay, but for very elderly people it is not advisable, especially to walk after 9 o'clock.
Okay, great. There's one more question by Shift Healer. Should we use the M1 from root chakra to crown chakra, or the opposite way as in the tutorial? I like to answer this question. Normally those who follow chakras and some of the basic disciplines of meditation or whatever it is, especially in Reiki healing and those kind and so on, they normally starts from the root chakra up. I repeat again, normally that's that particular discipline, that's how they've been taught. It starts from root chakra up. For M1, we purposely designed, because we are using quantum technology and we are leveraging technology with the principles, allowing the improvement of the chakras and improvement of the major glands that's directly connected or aligned with the chakras and so on. So based on our principles of quantum technology, using the M1, working from the top down, from the crown chakra down, allows a greater flow and benefits by using the M1. So don't mix up the two disciplines. Nothing is wrong with that. When you are meditating and when you're trying to work or invoke certain energies in you, based on their disciplines, yes, do from the root chakra up. But when we talk about quantum technology and applying quantum technology to improve your energetic wellness, then follow this particular discipline of working from the top down. Okay. In fact, when you do that, your invocation, when your invocation is improved, and when you finish the 9-step bonding from the top to the bottom, and then you go into a meditative state, you actually have a higher level of consciousness, a raise in the consciousness, and the raise in your energy level itself. Okay, any other questions?
We have another question, I think. Can a person shift their circadian rhythm, such as going to sleep 11 to 12? See, shifting circadian rhythm, because circadian rhythm is not something made by us. It is made by the nature. So it is not that easy. We can shift our circadian rhythm. That is the reason you can find the people, they are working, especially the shift workers, they are really, growing, or rapidly growing, I should say, because they are losing their age. They grow much faster because they are not giving proper amount of energy for the body to get repaired. Okay, so it is not easy, but at the same time, when you travel from one time zone to another time zone, you can always find that it will take some time for the body to do that calibration, So that is one of the reason I always tell people, wherever you travel, first go there and start wanting and maintain or have a proper energy system first. And you can do with just wanting, you can do that, circadian rhythm, because these are all again connected with the energy. So this is one reason. So always when you do that, we need to do what you call the calibration, our subtle energy calibration, I should say. So it is what you asking, like going from 11 to 12, can we change our circadian rhythm? It is not, because it's been designed in such a way, like the so-and-so organs will go for repair at so-and-so time. So it has been designed in such a way. For 1-2 days, okay, but later it should not be a practice like that. Yeah.
Correct. Our body has as a program for it to rest and repair, rejuvenate, and so on. Like for example, in the night, your sympathetic nerves shut down, your parasympathetic nerves activates. That actually starts the repair mode of your body. Your energy level itself is conserved and works deep down into the rejuvenation, into the healing, and so on. What is the main problem today is the technology, the big 65-inch television screen that is right in front of you, the fashionable white light, UV lights, this and that. So what happens is your body get confused because the lights are there even in the night, and bright lights and so on. So it upsets the whole entire systems, though it still try to regulate as much as possible. All right, it still try to regulate, trying to understand the time zone. So try to keep in accordance with your body's engineering and the functions in order to see the results. So that's a very good question, Mr. Bob. Thank you for asking, Bob Keeler.
And there was some recent studies, especially those people, they sleep late. They are the people, they are developing a lot of psychiatrical issues like bipolar disease, depression, and schizophrenia and all these kind of things. So it is better to, go to sleep a little early.
No wonder they say, the early bird catches the worm. So you go to bed early, you wake up early, and you actually have a lot more things achieved. Your productivity improves and so on. So you might want to look into that, especially for those who are, late birds and so on, night birds and so on. So I'm going to end the first part of today's program with this particular quote. It's from Jim Rohn. For those who doesn't know, he's a great motivator. Is the teacher for Tony Robbins. I learned from Tony Robbins and so on. So Jim Rohn says that take care of your body, because it's the only place you have to live. It's so profound, is that you're not living in your house. You are not living in this country. You are living in that body, and that's the body that you have to pay attention to. You have to take care, you have to clean it, you have to regulate it, you have to manage it and maximize it. And if you look out, if you look around, you'll see people suffering from all kind of sicknesses, all kind of complications, disorders, and so on. And that's because they have ignored it. They have disrespected the system, all right, that actually causes the upsets and so on. So it is something that we have to take responsibility for. So take care of your body, because it's the only place you have to live. All right, with that, I thank you so much for taking part in this program,